anyone new to professional meetings with clients as a provider, it's about your safety. It's about providing a good service so that you can become someone's regular, and you can build a reputation of being, providing good services, being professional, things like that, whatever. But if you get into this thinking that you're just going to meet with someone in a hotel like this, and that you're just going to finesse your way through it. Oh my gosh, I got lipstick. So I'm like, okay. That you're just going to finesse your way through it, and that the client is just going to have to just deal. You're not going to have to do anything. You're sadly mistaken. I'm not saying that if you don't feel the vibe, if you feel the vibe is off, if you feel unsafe, you feel unsure, or anything, 100% don't do it. But if you think you're just going to come into a hotel room and say, "But I'm just going to finesse this person," I know I got the gift of gab. I know what could happen is that the client will, they'll catch on eventually what's going on. Like, wait a minute, hold on. At least you with a bad reputation. They might write you a bad review online, things like that. Because a lot of these guys, they know each other, and they kind of like talks amongst each other, stuff like that. And you'd be surprised. Who knows who? So your reputation is that you don't provide what you may say on maybe an ad or something like that. But eventually, that's what they hired you for, to provide a service. Now, if you've been doing this for a long time, if you have some type of discernment, there are ways to get around certain things, but for the most part, that's not what's going to happen. And it's going to look like you're like a con artist, like you're a scam. And it's also a matter of your safety. Someone giving you $600 and you're sitting there the whole time, nothing's happening. Yeah, it's a level of safety. So I wouldn't suggest having that mindset. I would suggest that is a good mindset to have, that yes, have the gift of gab, and I can, but I think that you have to be transparent in the beginning. Hey, I'm not full service. In the beginning, in your ad, hey, I only provide massages. Hey, I only provide, I have a menu of certain services I provide, whether it's just, and just leave it at that, but just that idea that I'm just going to just like freelance and, not freelance, I'm just going to just create this expectation and then not do it can lead to unsafe measures. So I wouldn't suggest doing something like that. Just keep in mind that, and I think the problem is that for some is that they can't come to terms with the fact that, hey, I am a schmex worker. I am a hoe. I am a whore. I'm a 304. If you can't come to terms with that, if that's not what you think you can handle or do, there's other things that you can do. There's other online measures. There's so many other things that you can do. But please do not put yourself out there as saying, well, I do full service and things like that. Because usually, the reason why I say full service, because sometimes it's often provides the most, because most clients, most bookings, and then you don't do it. You're just putting yourself in a very risky situation. So I'll leave it at that because I'm yapping and I need to check out this hotel. So bye.
Okay, First, let me address the elephant in the room. I was hoping that she said in a video, but she didn't. What in the hell do she have on? Is this some type of nightwear, bedwear, pajama set? Or is this some type of Halloween costume? Or is this some type of cosplay fetish type of costume thingy that she got on? I don't know. I just had to address the elephant in the room. Like, what is this thing that she has on? It looks like a reindeer. I don't know. Maybe she just was dressed up for a client that was coming, that was into that type of thing. I know that they got what you call furries, or people that's into fur play or whatever, and whatever that is, that's a whole subject for a whole different video. But anyway, let's get into what she was saying, man. You are expected to perform if you have a full service ad. Of course. But some don't. Some people put stuff in their ad just to get a client, and when their client comes through the door, they don't perform that particular service that they had on the ad. And that is a very risky thing that you're putting yourself into, a very risky situation, because the client can get upset and get mad, as they should if they're spending their money, especially if they're spending anything over 100. Okay, man, people complain about bills, people complain about car insurance, people complain about house insurance, house notes, and groceries being high. Bruh, this stuff, what people paying now these days for these services for women that's selling it, is pretty high for that. It's pretty high for that. If groceries are high and you're complaining about it, what you think selling it is? Your little things, that's high. And unless you go find yourself a little cheap little crackhead or whatever, man, you paying some real serious prices for this. And women put themselves in dangerous situations all the time, playing games and thinking they're going to finesse the client. The client get mad, they get into a heated argument, and then next thing you know, a fight break out or whatever. And next thing you know, girls like her are on Soft White Underbelly or any other type of channel, crying and talking about it was the client fault, but they never tell what they did to make the client click out, to make the client argue, to make the client upset, to make the client hit them, to make the client fight them, to make the client do anything to them in a negative way. They never tell what they done. And a lot of times, it doesn't be the guy's fault. Most of the times, it be women trying to play these little trickery games on there, because they say the word trick comes from you have to trick the client. That is such BS, because if you trick the client, that's how you find yourself in a tricky situation, getting beat up and have to call your P. If you got a P, you got to call your 16. If you got to have 16, you got to call your pimp if you got a pimp, because you wants to play game and may have come up with this scheme either by yourself or with your P or with your pimp to play this game on this client, and you find yourself in a dangerous situation. Man. So, yes, she basically was speaking on that. The way she was talking, the way she was speaking, I don't know if this was her first video or what, but she looked like she was kind of nervous as she was speaking. She stumbled through her words and she couldn't get out what she was saying. But basically, that's the gist of it. If you say you're going to do a certain service, please do it. Because if you don't, you're going to wind yourself up in a sticky situation, a messed up situation, a touchy situation, a dangerous situation, when it didn't have to be all of that. A lot of times when stuff go down, a lot of times it's these women folk. But you don't hear them. You're hearing all these horror stories like they're just some crazy guys out there just wanting to do the women something, and that's all it is. No, that's not the case at all. Yes, it's very few. It's very little guys. Yes, there are some guys that's out there that's like that, but it's very little guys that's just out there for no reason doing women something. It's That's a very small percentage. Most of those guys that click out is because of women that play games and you're playing with these men money. You do not play with a person's money. You play with a person's money, then all kind of crazy comes out. So I'm glad her, as a female, as a working girl, as a professional 304, said it. She basically saying, women, if you say you're going to do a service, perform that service and do it with a smile, great customer service bring you a long way in the lifestyle and in the game. Smash the like button. Let me say this again. Great customer service brings you a long way in the lifestyle and in the game. Smash the like button. If can I get an amen for that? If I got an amen for that, please, 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 by all means, smash the like button. If you want me to keep bringing you fire, hot, 304 content, 304 dating content, 304 lifestyle content, smash the like button. Smash the like button. Do it for me. I'm working hard for y'all these days. Until then, please go check out my main YouTube channel, No Judge Zone. New Orleans street interviews where I interview street people and I get their stories. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe over there. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe over here as well at 304 Dating, where we talk about this 304 lifestyle. We talk about transactional dating and we talk about traditional dating as well on this channel. Smash the like button. Get down in the comments. I would love to know. I'd love to hear y'all thoughts, views, and opinion, perspectives, and take on this particular subject. Stop trying to finesse the client and be fair to the client. Treat him how you would want to be treated, and everything will be okay. Because when you playing games as a 304, then that's when she said, like she said, you get bad reviews and stuff like that. You get clients acting up, hitting you, beating you up, and doing all this kind of stuff, and then you want to whine and cry and play victim. Look, until then, please, y'all, get in the comments section. I'd love to know y'all thoughts, views, and opinions on this. Until then, my name is 304. Yes, I said it. 304, Sweet Daddy, and I'm gone. Like what water?